YouTube Tuesday with me, Jessica Brigden of JessBCreativeCardiology. Hello, hello, welcome. Hope you are having a great start to your week. I know for many of you it was a long weekend and David and I were out of town. We attended a convention and it was beautiful to see old friends, make new friends, and just be encouraged. So we had a great weekend. We stayed a little longer, so we actually came home yesterday. So today I'm definitely having a case of the Mondays, even though it's Tuesday. I'm sure you know how that goes, right? So I have the perfect summer activity for you, whether you are young or young at heart, right? It is the Share a Smile card making kit. Now this is not a subscription. This is one of the Kits Collection kits from Stampin' Up. And this one, what I really like about this is it makes 8 cards, all right? So you get 8 cards and it has a gift box, a little gift box to store them in or to gift them. Hi, Kathy, hello, hello. And I love this because the elements in this kit are super bright and fun and sunny. So I have got my summer dress. It is July, we are in the heart of summer. And so I thought this would be the perfect kit. It's quick, it's cute, simple and easy. So it goes together really nicely. So it's something that you could purchase for yourself, or since it's summer vacation time, if you are crafting with some young ones, right? Whether they be your own kids, your grandkids, your nieces, nephews, cousins, all of that fun stuff, then this is a great kit for all stamping. Actually, this is a non-stamping kit, so this is a great kit for all crafting levels because there is no experience required on this one. I know I did the pop-up pails kit last Tuesday. Super fun. Also a beginner kit, but that one had a few extra elements that made those cards pop up. This one is super simple. All right, so I can't wait to share it with you. Let me flip the camera and we'll get started. All right, leave me a comment. Let me know, what did you do over the weekend? Do you have any fun activities? All right, let's go ahead and there we go. We should have all of our light properly angled here, I believe. All right, so again, this is one of Stampin' Up's Kits Collection kits. The great thing about this one, called Share a Smile, this kit is only $14. $14 for 8 cards and a gift box. You can't beat that. All right, so you could get one for yourself and each of your friends or each of the kiddos in your life. And if I could use my scissors here. This is the hardest part, just opening the package there. So that might need some adult supervision, or it's like if you ever have the opportunity to sit in the back seat of your car, like maybe you're traveling with friends or something like that, or I know sometimes we pick my parents up and we go out to dinner, and I'll let my dad sit in the front seat with David, and Mom and I will sit in the back, and we go to get out and we can't get out of the back, right? I always say it's adult proof because kids are constantly tugging on the door. They'll find a way out, but adults, it's just like this packaging. Sometimes they'll say it's adult proof. All right, so the nice thing, you do have full color instructions for each of the 8 cards. But like I said, they are super simple. All right, this is just the chipboard backing. You could use that for another project. Now we have all of the pre-die cut. These are not stickers, okay, but they are die cut, so you will need to use the tear and tape and the dimensionals that are provided. So we've got fun elements from hibiscus flowers and cacti. We've got a toucan, some sunflowers, peaches. I love the sloth. I think the sloth is my favorite. And we've got some little like note card elements and hearts. Check out these fun colored note cards here. All right, now you do have, because this is a kits collection, you do get the sentiments in multiple languages. So there you go. You can expand your linguistics there and learn French, German, and Dutch at the same time. All right, this is the little gift box. I'm going to show you how we can fold and put that together. Again, really fun card bases. And then the envelopes too, super bright and sunny. Great summertime activity. This is just like a sunburst right in there. Now these are just a little bit smaller. These cards, when finished, are 3.5 by 5. That is note card size. Yes, these are mailable, so you can put them through the mail with a regular stamp. Okay, they're not too small. They're actually a pretty good size. Alrighty, and then you have your tear and tape and some dimensionals in here. Okay, so let's go ahead. Let's put this gift box together first because I think this is super cute. And when I first ordered this kit, I did not realize that it came with a gift box. I was only looking at the cards, so I thought this was a nice bonus. I'm gonna pre-score here on all of these score lines. Just pre-fold it. That'll just make, when you do go to fold and adhere, it'll just go together so much nicer. So you don't even need to do anything. It's already cut and scored, and even the tear and tape is already on here. You have a little bit of adhesive on these little flaps and a little bit of tear and tape here on these two bottom flaps. So the only thing you might need here is if you have take your big tool with the spatula end, you can use that to remove the backing here from your tear and tape. Okay, I am going to go ahead and remove both just so that we've got a little bit more flexibility here with this box. But the first thing we're going to do, these little flaps, the little side flap is going to glue in here. Okay, so we're going to take that up, right, side flap here with this one. Just bring that right up, make sure that's nice and smooth. Okay, and give it a pinch, and then do that same thing here. Take that little flap, bring this one up. Okay, there you go. Just pinch it, make sure it's nice and smooth. All right, so it's already taking shape. Now we're gonna fold in these two. Again, we've already got the adhesive on there, so one side at a time. Bring this right up, smooth here, okay, and pinch it. And then this side, just bring that right up along the edge and give it a little pinch. Oh my goodness, so easy. There you have it. You have your little box. Now you can take all your 8 envelopes here. I am gonna fold the flaps down so that they fit inside. Okay, so just take your envelope flaps, fold the edge down here. All right. So this is sized to fit the finished cards. Okay, so you do need to fold the envelopes in order for them to fit. And it perfectly fits all 8. And yeah, if you had a full 8 cards in here, it would be nice and snug. All right, we'll show you that at the end. But right now we've got all the envelopes in there, and this tab for the box, it's already got a slit. So you just tuck this, there you go. Maybe just pinch it a little bit to make sure it's apart. And, okay, come on, this side up. Here we go. Hi, Karen. Hello, hello. We are doing the Share a Smile kit today. All right, there you go. And it tucks right inside. Okay, so super cute little gift box. And then you can even use it as a template. I was thinking I might use this as a template to make my own quick and easy gift box. You could do the whole thing out of a 12 by 12 sheet of designer series paper. So maybe do that before you fold it if you want to get some extra mileage out of it. Okay, so that was quick and easy. We got our gift box together. All right, so let's go ahead. We have, so for the card bases, we have 2 each of 4 designs here. But all 8 cards will actually be different, okay? So for the first card, let's just kind of lay these out here, all right? So let's do for the first 2. All right, we can just kind of lay these out here because I don't think I can show you all of them on one screen. Maybe I can. Let me see. All right, yeah, I think I can do that. I'll just overlap them a little bit here. All right, and so you can see I've got all 8 card bases laid out. So for the first one, all right, we've got little cacti. And again, these are die cuts. They just pop right out. This one does have a little centerpiece you need to remove. Okay, so if we're using this whole sheet, and then the hibiscus, and you can mix and match. You do not have to make them just as Stampin' Up! Designed. So if you would prefer to put the elements on different card bases, right, this is your kit. So do it your way, okay? Or get 2 and make one as designed, and then get creative with the other. All right, it's totally fun. $14 for the 8 cards. You can afford to mix and match and get a couple of these. Okay, so let's see. I've got a toucan left, and this cute little bicycle. Aren't these elements fun? Okay, so we've got our die cuts there, matched up with the cards, and then we've got some fun. We've got some monstera leaves and some other tall like leaves and grasses. Okay, so we're gonna match these up too. For our sloth card, we're gonna use a big and a small leaf. And then because the toucan is also tropical, that also is going to get a big and a small monstera leaf. And then these other fun leaves, which are the same, all 4 are the same size. Okay, we are going to put a couple of those with our sunflowers. And then we will put a couple with the peaches. Okay. Now, as far as other die cuts, we have these 4 little note card elements. So we'll take these out. All right, so one of these goes with the cacti. One of these goes with the bicycle. All right, you just have to be careful there along the edges. Okay, and then we've also got one with the hibiscus and one with the sunshine. And if you did tear these, well, I guess it would be even more realistic to look like notebook paper, right? Okay, so one goes with the hibiscus and one with the sunshine down here. Now, if you're making this on your own or with some friends, all right, you do not have to rush through this, but I am going to show you here just how quickly this all comes together. We've already got the elements here for the 8 cards, and then we do have some little hearts and these little flowers. Okay, so for the cacti, we're going to do 3 little flowers. Now these are a little bit glossy, but they are not stickers. Okay, they kind of look like they might be, but they're not. They're just little pop outs too. Okay, so we're gonna do 3 of those with the cacti, 2 of these with the peaches, 3 of these with the toucan. Okay, and then we've got the little hearts, and you do have small, like a small, medium, and large. So we're gonna do one of each size here with the bicycle. And then we're gonna do one of each side with our sloth. And then also with the sunflowers. All right, and then the sunshine down here in the corner. Oh, and the hibiscus, okay. And then that would take care of all of those. So I've only got 1 little flower left. I'm thinking that that might go with the peach, even though they only showed 2. I think rule of thirds. That's where it belongs. Okay, so that is all the elements. And then with our sentiments here, the English are kind of mixed. That one is definitely German and Dutch. All right, this one, it looks like we've got some French on there. Okay, now I see a couple of English. So we've got two that say hang in there. So I think hang in there definitely goes with a sloth. And then you can mix and match how you want to put these together. We've got hang in there, have a great day. Okay, so you could do that with your flowers and your sunshine. You matter. Okay. So you could, again, mix and match these however you like. Okay. And then we've got you make me smile. Okay, so that's all 8. So then you have all the rest left over here for your foreign language. However, if you do not speak a foreign language, you could always gift them if you have a friend or a teacher who is French or German or anything like that. The other alternate here is you can flip them over. Just use the back side. These are kind of fun, especially these, they're not really circles. They're kind of odd shaped circles, and even these other little sentiment labels, right? Just flip them over. You don't have to use the pre-printed side. Flip these over and then you could stamp any sentiment, any greeting that you want, okay? So don't let those go to waste. Go ahead and just flip them over and use the other side. You'll have lots of options, right? Mix and match with things you might have in your collection. Okay, so we've got all of our pieces put together. All right, so I'm gonna just kind of set these aside so we can work on one at a time. So I'm gonna just slide them off my crafting area here gently. Try not to spill them. All right, I'm just gonna stack them up over here on the side. Okay, and then we can do one at a time. Now, they are pre-scored, so you really don't need any extra tools. I am gonna use my bone folder. Okay, so they're on the score line. Go ahead and just smooth that out, okay? And then we're gonna flip all of these elements over so that we can apply our adhesives, okay? So this card is the Peaches card. All right, so for this one, let's go ahead, let's do our little mini dimensionals first. So we're gonna put a couple of dimensionals on our sentiment up here at the top. We are going to put some dimensionals on our peaches. And then we are going to put one on each of these little flower clusters. These mini dimensionals are the perfect size. All right. Okay, so that's mini dimensionals for these items. All right, and then the rest we are going to use with our Terra tape. All right, let Ziggy out. Okay, so with your Terra tape here, go ahead and put that on the longer sections there. Terra tape is about 1/4 inch wide. Okay, so you just need a couple little bits, and that's a great thing. It literally tears. Just put a little pressure on it and rip it off. If you're a little more type A and you want a little more precision, go ahead and trim it with your scissors. Okay, you can do that too. It is very sticky, so you might have to just be careful you don't stick it to yourself. Alrighty, and then maybe a little bit right in here. I thought those pieces were identical, but they're not quite. You can see on the back side they are just a little bit different. Okay, so now that we've got all our elements here, again, I'm going to use the spatula end of my take your pick tool, because that really is the easiest way to take the backing off of that tear and tape. Okay, and then you can have just your little trash bin handy so that you can pop these into it. I find the backing pieces from dimensionals and all these items, I find them all over the house. I don't know if you say the strangest place I found them, but I have even found them in on the bathroom floor, and they stick to your socks and things like that. What is the strangest place that you have ever found a dimensional backing? Let me know in the comments. That would be kind of fun. All right, so these are going to go, we have a little fun little archway here. So make sure that your leaves aren't hanging off the edge of your card. You do want to make sure they are in your card. Okay, so let's see. We're gonna do one right up the side. Okay, and then this other one is gonna come in at an angle a little bit, kind of across the window. Okay, and then you've got your peach cluster. This is going to go on next. All right, so that's why the leaves are glued flat, and then your peaches come on here to overlap it. Okay, and then we can add our sentiment across the middle. All right, however you want to do these, and then add your little flowers here and there and everywhere. Just put them little flowers in the branches. Okay, one over here. And like I said, because even though they only use two, you have one little flower left over, kind of a rule of thirds. I like to use that. So you could put this right up here with that one, or I think I'm gonna put it right down here in the corner. All right, and then my eye kind of bounces around for all three of those little flowers. So that is card number one. They are blank inside. But again, this note card size is great for young ones to write a little message. Okay, send to their friends. I love doing being pen pals, right? Especially with kids you meet at summer camp. Even I was pen pals with my great Aunt Elle in Florida for a long time, and I loved that. She would always send me fun little things that, I don't know, she'd clip out of newspapers and magazines and things like that, and I would update her on my summer adventures. A great way for kids to develop relationships with family and also keep their writing skills up, right? Okay, so we're doing some tear and tape here on our Monstera leaves. And then we are going to do a couple of dimensionals on our sentiment. All right, then we've also got dimensionals for the little flowers. And dimensionals for our toucan, little toucan Sam here. All right, and there we go. And I see there is one little piece in here. It's kind of hard to see. There's one little piece that just pops out there between the branch and the bird body. Okay, so we are going to put our leaves on first. Okay, so you've got a kind of a large and small, two sizes of leaves here. So the large one, we're gonna point down towards the bottom right corner. And then the small one, all right, they kind of meet at the stem, and this one points up towards the left, okay? And then we'll add on the toucan. Okay, toucan goes here among the leaves. kind of in the middle of the card, here in that pretty little archway. Okay, then we've got our sentiment. Put that across the middle here. All right, and then we can add on our flowers, and you can put these any way you want, but you can kind of tuck them in here between the branches and the flowers here of your sentiment. And maybe one down here. I think I'm gonna put one right up there. All right, super cute. There we go, quick and easy. It's fun, lots of dimension. Okay, but it's not bulky. It doesn't have anything hard on it, so it'll squish down in your envelope just fine and be, all right, will not cost anything extra to mail that. Okay, so we've got the 2 archway cards done. Next up here, I've got our sunburst cards. All right, again, it folds right in the middle of the sun. Okay, so for this one, and I think I'm gonna put this, like the corner of the sun down in the bottom left, and then it shines, the rays shine out. Now, again, we'll flip everything over. This is the little bicycle card. And we've got our 3 little hearts. Okay, so for tear and tape, we are going to put on the back of this little torn note paper. Have a great week, you too, Karen. Have a great afternoon. Thanks for popping in on your lunch break. Okay, so that's all we need. The tear and tape is the back of that note card there. Okay, alrighty, so, oops, there we go. Now, if you're an advanced crafter, I realize that some of these projects might be a little simple to you, but even as an advanced crafter, sometimes it is nice to have something that is quick and easy, right? When the sun is shining and it's melting your brain, it's hot out. All right, this is one of those. You can put your note card on any way you want. You can put it straight up and down. All right, I kind of like this fun element. So I'm gonna angle mine the opposite direction of the sun rays there in the card. All right, then we're gonna use our dimensionals on everything else. So we'll add them to our bicycle and our sentiments. You know, and this card making, it's summertime, I realize, you know, we want to be outside, we want to do stuff, but at the same time, sometimes you get those pop-up showers in the afternoon, or this is something great you can take with you even when you go to the beach or the lake, camping, any of those things. Sometimes it's nice to have a quiet, calm activity, right? Especially if you've been going, swimming, jumping in the pool, riding bikes, all those fun things. It's nice to have a little quiet activity, right? Something to sit down and do when the weather's not so great, or when it's too hot and you just need to cool off for a little bit. All right, these are quick, they're simple, they're fun. They don't take too much, right? Even it's just fun to sit around and laugh and have a good time and make a few cards. All right, and they go together so nicely. All right, cactus card coming right up. Again, go ahead, just fold these on the score line. Again, I'm going to do my sun rays coming out from the corner. Same process here, so you can see once you do a couple, your formula is going to be the same here. These little notebook papers get a bit of tear and tape. Okay. All right, so I'm going to put these down first on my card. All right, so if you're tuning in, let me know where you're tuning in from, what you did over the weekend there, and what you enjoy doing here during the summer. I think we also had in there Where's the weirdest place that you found a dimensional backing? All right, so we're gonna add on our cactus. I think these would be fun, just fun little thinking of you cards just to send out. Okay, put this in the middle of my card here. And then, now they do give us a little tip for a sentiment here with the cactus. If you want this to overlap, then what you can do, because the cactus is already popped up, the edge that's going to overlap with the cactus, you can use a little bit of this tear and tape to adhere to the cactus. And then to balance it out, height-wise, on the other side, you put a dimensional, okay? So for this card, on your sentiment label, you do tear and tape on half, and then the dimensional on the other half. And then when you put this on, see what that does there? It's perfect. And then it's all the same height. Cool little tip there. If you're working with, and you're doing pop-up things, right? And you've got different heights of elements going on, okay? And then again, your flowers. Okay, dimensional on each of those. Now for our flowers, cactus already has a couple little blossoms on it, but we're gonna add a few more, add a little bit of extra color here. So we're gonna overlap some of those so that we've got multicolored cactus flowers there. Okay, and then the third one here. There we go. I love it. So cute. All right, and it might even be fun again. And kids are so creative that I could definitely even see some older kids, some teenagers getting into this. They could write their own puns on the backside here. So if you wanted, you know, a cactus, you know, could always add something fun like, you know, something cactus. You could go and write your own little messages that coordinate, you know, even better. Kind of punny with the elements on there. Okay, next up, now this orange plaid is a little, whew, that is really bright here. We're gonna tone it down a little bit with some of this little note paper element going on the front. Alrighty, and then we've got, then we'll add our sunshine. Super fun. So let me know which of these cards is your favorite. I have to say, I think the sloth is my absolute favorite. I really do like that one. Now what I like too is sometimes doing a simple card kit like this, you can even take the layouts, these simple layouts, and use them to help you design some of your own card projects, right? So if you wanted to take it a step further, sometimes the hardest part of crafting is coming up with the designs. I know that's what it is for me. I have all the supplies and all these fabulous tools and everything like that. And then believe it or not, sometimes I do get a little creative block, right? Sometimes it's a little overwhelming with too many supplies. And a kit is nice, and then it helps you keep your options limited, okay? Sometimes it's easier to create with less as opposed to having too much. But then you could take a simple card like this and be like, oh, I could do a rectangle die cut here, and then I could layer with a larger round die cut. These little sunrays, they kind of look like bacon to me. Little sizzling going on. All right, and then you could add a sentiment label. Again, just kind of mix and match these. And then some fun you could do embellishments. So use these quick, simple cards as a way to help you step up some of your own craftiness too. Okay, there we go. I love it. So fun. Okay, so we've done 5. All right, so now the other half of the bright orange plaid here. I love this hibiscus. I love anything tropical. So I think that's one of the reasons I'm really drawn to this kit. It's super fun, bright, great for summer. All right, here we go. Add our little tear and tape. We're getting in a groove here. Got our crafting rhythm going on. And then dimensionals on these other elements here. Now, Stampin' Up! Does kind of, I'm going by what they indicate. If I were doing this, I'd probably add more dimensionals. And you're also gonna have these edge pieces. Go ahead and feel free to cut those apart and use those too. Okay, do not think that just because Stampin' Up! Doesn't automatically cut the edges, don't think you can't use those. No, I use every little bit. All right, I think I'm missing a heart somewhere, but I've got quite a pile of dimensional backings, so I'm sure we'll find it here. Okay. Remove the tear and tape. Okay, add this on the front of our card. Then our hibiscus flowers. All right, just make sure your flowers are going in the right direction. Okay, so these, and you do want to make sure too that your ends of your palm fronds are on the card. You don't want them poking off the edges. Okay. Oh, there's my heart. I knew I'd find it. All right, here we go. We've got our sentiment label going across the middle. And then for our flowers, put one down here. A little one up here and one more. One more right up here. So fun. I love it. Okay. What do you guys think? Isn't this cool? I love these. And actually, well, I'll stick them in the little card box afterwards because then we can show all of them. All right, here we go. We've got our sunflower up next. This one has a fun little like postage stamp element to it. Okay, so this one again has a couple of those leaves, the sunflower. All right, I can see from the back, this one too has a little piece that needs to be popped out here. Okay, and then the hearts that fall off the edge of my table. Here we go. Okay, let's put these on all of our, oops, little pieces here. So let me know, do you have any summer craft plans? Any plans to get together with a friend or family member? I've got, my mom has a cousin that is in town for the summer. Grew up here and has since retired to Florida. And she's home for the summer visiting friends and family, and we're having a cousins luncheon. So multi-generational cousins luncheon next Thursday afternoon. That'll be kind of fun to see some of our family that we don't get to see too often. It's just kind of a girls luncheon there. So that's one summer thing we have planned. And then generally my cousins, I have a cousin that lives not too far from here. And then her sister, my other cousin, lives down in Maryland, and she and her family, husband and kids, usually try to make a trip to New York at some point, usually later in August before the kids go back to school. And so we usually try to do a Cousin's Day here at my house so the kids can play in the creek and run around, and we have a nice big yard, and got the pool and the hot tub, so the kids think that's amazing, running from from one body of water to the other, in and out, in and out. But I love to see them have fun. And so, yeah, I love that. So even though I don't have kiddos of my own, I love having everybody else's over. And then, of course, they take them home. So, and then I go take a nap. No, no, it's all good. Love it. Okay, so let's add our leaves on here. Again, you've got one kind of coming up towards the right, and then the other one kind of going off towards the left. So they're not exactly even, okay? Don't be afraid of that. All right, although I have to be careful because I got really close to the edge there. All right, make sure your leaves stay on your card. All right, I love this little sunflower bouquet. And speaking of sunflowers, have you seen Stampin' Up! Just released this month? They have a sunflower embossing folder. Oh my goodness, I think this is gonna be super popular. This is a large folder. All right, this is actually 6 inches by 8.5. It's huge. And it's a 3D, one of those 3D dynamic, which means the impression is super deep. So you get this really amazing looking embossing. This sunflower embossing folder, it's not part of a suite or anything like that. It's sold on its own. But I think these are $12 for the embossing folders, this size now. Make sure you get yours before they're sold out, okay? You will not see that in a catalog. That is an online exclusive that just came out this month, and I think it's going to be amazing. Okay, put our sunflowers here right in the middle of our stamp here, or postage stamp. All right, then our sentiment. All right, kind of place this over. Again, this one I didn't pay attention to the directions because this overlaps. Again, what you could do, instead of a dimensional on this side that overlaps, put just a little bit of tear and tape here. Oops. All right, that will help this lay smoothly. This end will lay smoothly over your stem while allowing the rest of it to still pop up, okay? So I think there's only 2 cards that you kind of have to pay attention to that, okay? And then we've got our little hearts. So we'll plant these little hearts here among the leaves. And the third one goes right over here. Oh, I love that one too. So pretty. All right, last but not least, the sloth, my favorite. Okay. Now these are all designed, you'll see they're all portrait style. However, again, this is your kit, so feel free to let yourself be creative. You can change the orientation. You could make them landscape. All right, you can do whatever you want. And sometimes that's the fun thing about crafting with kids too. Just let them at it, and they come up with the most creative things. I think as adults, we learn all these rules, and the fact of the matter is you really don't have to. There really aren't that many rules when it comes to card making. It just, your design elements have to fit on your card base, so they'll go in an envelope. That's it. And sometimes I love the ideas and things that kids come up with, even more even more than my own. So, all right, this is one of those other sentiments, dimensional at the top, and then the bottom is gonna layer over one of the other elements. So one dimensional, one little piece of Terran tape, and then dimensionals on our hearts. Okay, so you'll see with this too, I followed exactly Stampin' Up directions here, and this is how many dimensionals I had left. So feel free, if you feel that some of these bigger elements need an extra dimensional or two, go ahead and do that. And then don't forget to trim the edges here with your paper snips, okay, and use those on other projects too. All right, don't let those go to waste. Dimensionals are dimensionals. Love it. And you will have, this was not a full roll, all right, because Stampin' Up does sell big rolls of Terran tape. For the kit, you get just what you need, but you do have a little bit left over here too. So don't feel like you have to measure everything out perfectly, okay? All right, so let's add our leaves. This time, the smaller leaf is going to point up here towards the top right, and the larger leaf, we're gonna kind of meet up at the stems, is going to point towards the lower left. Make sure it stays on the card, okay? All right, then we've got our sloth. Okay, and the sloth is gonna kind of hang from the branches, all right, kind of across the bottom of the card here. And then you've got your sentiment. You're gonna remove the backing from that Terran tape and add your dimensional. Okay, so this one kind of, and I like it kind of where it looks like the leaves are kind of over, well, so it's designed so that it overlaps the leaves, but I think I'm gonna just put an extra dimensional there on the bottom instead of the tape, and then I'm gonna tuck it down in so it looks like the leaves are kind of growing in around it. I like that. I like that kind of overlapping look. All right, and then we got our little hearts. So you can put one right up here and another one down here. And then we've got one left. So even though it's not shown there, you can put this anywhere you want. You could do it down here. You could do a little heart on his bum. I like that. I'm gonna put it right down there. All right, so I used up all of the die cuts and the hearts and things like that. I do have essentially 2 full sheets of the foreign language sentiments, and then a couple extra pieces. So like I said, flip those over, use the back side, and feel free to write your own puns or messages, or stamp greetings from your collection, okay, if you want to change up the sentiments. All right, so that's leftover, a little bit of Terran tape, a couple of dimensionals here. And now, check all these out. We've got our peaches and the toucan and the bicycle and the cactus, I guess cacti is plural. I just got one cactus here. All right, our sunshine and the hibiscus, our sunflowers, and our sloth. All right, so we got 8 super fun, bright summer cards. All right, I hope you love these as much as I do. Let me know what you think. Okay, so I'm gonna stack them all up together, kind of pinch them in the middle here. And then we've got our gift box that we've already assembled. Envelopes are inside. So carefully insert your cards and look at how nicely they fit. So super fun, you know, to keep these in a desk, on a desk drawer or something like that. Or feel free, you could tie them up with a bow, and it would make a great gift for someone too. All right, so it'd even make a fun gift. You could make these up, tie it with a bow. Maybe you've got a grandkid or somebody going away to college. How fun would that be to give them this to? In which case, you might want to already purchase the postage, put those forever stamps on the corner of the envelopes, and then it is fully ready to go and say, you know, drop me a little message here and there, okay? So I hope you love that. Again, this was the Share a Smile kit. We made 8 cards and a little gift box too. So thank you guys so much for joining me today. All right. Hi, everybody. Oh, nice to have you here, Claudia. Thanks for tuning in. Let me know which of these cards is your favorite. Again, I think the sloth, he's just too cute. That's my favorite. But I do love them all, and I can't wait to send these out. So have a great afternoon. Have a great week. All right. Stay cool from the summer heat. And I will be seeing you on Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern. All right. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.